はい、これからの時間はですね、フォーラム1ということで、主に国際観光映像祭の国際部門の審査員の方々を、集めまして、それぞれ1本ずつ観光映像を紹介していただこうと思います。では、登壇する人たちを、ご紹介していきますって、こちらをどうしましょうか。そうですね、はい。
Okay, so as we mentioned earlier, we're going to start Forum 1 together with all the international judges. We would like to introduce all the members who's going to come up on the stage.
じゃあ、もうご登壇される方
Okay,
々
so
を。
Alexander Camel, Don, and Kyung, and Jay, and Kumi Kato. この後、フォーラムの方がですね、すべて英語で開催されることになりまして、日本語の補足、私と、もう一人、岡北さんの方からさせてはいただくんですが、あくまで補足的にお話をしますので、逐次で通訳の方はしませんので、ご了承の方お願いいたします。
ではこちらちょっと座って進行させていただきたいと思います。はい、じゃあこう一人ずつ自己紹介ということでお願いしたいと思います。どうしますかね。一応はい。
So let's do the self-introduction, maybe from this side. Oh, maybe I can ask. Would you like to start from you? 簡単に、like just simply, just who it is and
introduce.
はい、です。
私は日本語を話せません。So I have to speak in English. So like I said, I'm teaching architecture at Northumbria University in the United Kingdom, and I'm the jury president.
イギリスで建築の方を教えております。キュンと申します。よろしくお願いいたします。国際部門の審査員長をされております。
Hi, my name is Jay Chern. I'm a director from Taiwan.
Jay Chern さんです。台湾の方でディレクターをされております。And Don?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Don from the Philippines. I'm a filmmaker and editor.
はい、ドンさんですね。フィリピンの方から来られてまして、同じく映像を作られていらっしゃるフィルムメーカーさんになります。
Well, I've been already introduced. I'm the director of the International Committee of Film Festivals. Used to be producing films, and now we are organizing festivals like Cannes Corporate Media and TV Awards, US International Awards, Grand Prix Victoria, Autovision, the State Award for Austria, and many more.
全部覚えられませんでしたが、すみません。世界の観光映像祭の方のディレクトされていて、でこの観光映像祭ですね、全世界で行われているので調べていただくとすぐに出てくるんですが、シフトという団体でやっております。で、彼ももともとは映像制作をされていて、今はディレクターということでこういった映像祭の方を世界中で行っていらっしゃいます。
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kumi Kato from Wakayama University. I actually work with Kigawa-san. My office is actually next to him. I've been part of this jury. It's been my really great pleasure every year to actually be part of this festival. And I teach sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism. 和歌山大学観光学部の加藤です。このフェスティバルも当初の頃から審査員させていただいています。 大学ではというか、日本のサステナブル持続可能な観光政策というところで、持続可能な観光について教えておりますけれども、実は私の大学のオフィスは木川先生のお隣です。
ありがとうございます。Thank you very much.
はい、じゃあ、一通り自己紹介していただきましたので、これから各自から1本ずつ作品を、今回の応募作の作品を推薦して推薦というか紹介してもらって、でその後ちょっといろいろ伺っていくという感じにしたいと思いますが、今の順番でいいのか
So
な。
how we would like to proceed this forum is that, so I would like you all to introduce one particular film that you really liked, and we want to talk about it after we show it. Is that okay? And maybe we can start from you, King. Yeah.
じゃあ、
Well, after the film.
はい
Yeah.
じゃあ
That was Be Brave from Portugal.
ポルトガルの Be Brave を放送お願いできますでしょうか。
I thought it's already set.
ちょっと待ってって言ってますね。ちょっと待って。
They're getting ready, so please hold on. Oh, there you go.
Oleiros, terra verde de grande alcance, aqui nasceu António de Andrade, mais tarde padre. Explorador dos Himalaias e descobridor do Tibete, levou longe o nome desta terra e a coragem e determinação de quem nela habita. Aqui, a Mãe Natureza trata-nos por tu, e em verde pinta de frescura o ar que banha estas terras e nele nos eleva ao idílico através de portas de outro tempo. Lá de cima, do futuro, vemos aldeias do xisto, meandros e ribeiras, e no grande Zeze somos levados e lavados por uma paz que só o espírito desta terra pode oferecer. Por estas terras, os saberes antigos leem-se nas mãos de quem ainda maneja o ferro, fiolinho e bate os tiares ao som de obras de arte, delicadas como uma música que nos embala. Aqui esteve também a antiquíssima Ordem de Malta, não fosse a sua cruz marcada no brasão desta terra, que oferece um património religioso que vai além, sem deixar de olhar para trás. E no ventre deste sítio se funda a pessoa com a natureza e com a arte que nasce entre ela como um ser vivo. Diz-se que do Tibete o grande Padre António enviou a receita do cabrito estonado que por lá se comeria, com pele e tudo, estaladiço, suculento, hoje um ícone da gastronomia deste território. No cálice se bebe calum, oferta de uma casta cuja origem foi esquecida no tempo e apenas nasce neste solo. Aqui o verde se assume e entre ele gigantes bancadas de quartzitos rasgam a terra e fazem-nos querer conquistar o céu. De lá, cascatas choram para que esta terra continue verde e nos abrace num embalo ternurento. Oleiros, deixa-te abraçar.
はい、これなんか一編の映画を見ているようなスケールの大きな映像だったと思うんですけど、じゃあまず推薦された方から推しどころというか、これの ね、なぜ推薦したのかって、この作品の素晴らしさとかを語っていただけたらと思います。
Yes. So, as a jury members, we have seen more than 100 films. So it is very challenging to pick something, very top and excellent. But in my mind, I have maybe 2-3 key points why I thought this was one of the best films for me, from my own, judgment. The first one is at the beginning, the film starts to show the journey, the beginning of the journey. So you see this passage visually, so you can start to see he's going to walk towards something. So that's the good beginning. At the end, you also see the passages. So it also shows you how this journey is made all the way through. So that's one thing.
今の作品を、一つ、印象的なものとして推薦してくださったわけなんですが、たくさんの数百を超える作品の中で、審査の基準としているものがありまして、そのうちの一つがやっぱり視覚的な、旅に出るというか、まさにツアーをするという最初の視覚的な動き、前に出る、旅に出るというようなそういう視点っていうのがまず重要であると。
The second thing is there's the beauty of minimalism. So the film doesn't overpopulate or overdo to show so many different things. So there's some other films try to include so many 100 different things, so ambitious. So that ruins the clarity of this simple narrative. But this film, unlike those, try to include something very essential. So it didn't overpopulate. So that's another aspect I thought.
で2つ目はもう端的に言ってやっぱミニマリズムというのが重要になっていて、もういろんなやっぱり映像に入れ込んでいく要素っていうのが様々ある中で、やはり一つのナラティブですね、話の筋っていうところを中心にそこに非常に重要なものをくっつけていくっていう、非常にミニマリズム的な手法っていうのが非常に特徴的であると。
And finally, while pursuing this minimalism, the camera angles and the lights keep changing to generate some feeling of depth. So you have seen the camera is going very close up and moving farther away. Try to make variations of this depth. And also light keeps changing from dark to bright. Even the color of the costume of the priest, very black. Contrasted with this very white concrete geometric structure. So it adds up to the whole simplicity with some depth and the perfection of this whole organization of the film.
なるほど。あと3つ目はもうこれも端的にやはり技術的なところですね。カメラワーク、光と影とか。色の対比とか、そういったさまざまな技術的な手法であるとか印象の手法っていうのを非常に今効果的に使っているというところを3つ挙げてこの映像がそれを代表するということでご説明いただきました。
今日5人ここ並んでいただいてるんで、今他の4人の方々で今の映像について何か言いたいこととか補足することとか、逆に質問とかあったらちょっとお話ししていただきたいなと思うんですけども。
And also, I mentioned it earlier, actually, to Japanese audiences, that we're not going to be translating every word anymore. It's like during this forum, I would like you to just have a free discussion between the judges, and then, if necessary for Japanese audiences, we'll just do a summary, okay? If you don't mind. So yeah, you can say something with the Q. Yeah, Q. Oh, there.
12, 13? Okay, here we go. Kyung, do you think that this film will reach which target group?
What kind of target are you? Sorry.
Well, it's a tourism promotion film. So the idea of a tourism promotion film is that tourists will come to this place. So what do you think is the target group for this film?
Well, many different films try to show many different spots to visit, encourage people to see, how many different places are good in that city or area. But this film didn't highlight many different places, but try to show only the highlighted places. So I think that's one good strategy to make people feel like, that there's a potential of that area. We can start from those spots in the film.
What would be the target group? Young travelers, older travelers, psychedelics,
generational groups. I think it depends on what type of the style of journey you would prefer. So even younger generation, for example, if they want to explore this outdoor, the mountain area or wall climbing, then probably they will be drawn to this film. But also, it also shows the gastronomy, the food, and the local historic heritage. So that also pulls some interest from the older audience. So this could attract many different generational groups.
Okay, because I think the film is very heavy, and it's pretty dark. The voice is very deep, and so it's kind of.
It's not light.
Do I really want to go there if I'm in a good mood, or will I go there and listen just to fado and be even more depressive? So that's the feeling that I have. I'm sorry, but we're talking very open.
Yeah, I see your point. Yes, that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
さっきみたいに逐次では訳さないんですけど、簡単にご説明すると、キャメルの方からどうしてこの映画がいいと思ったの、これを見て来たいと思うっていう話で、どういう人たちがターゲットだと思う。キムさんはすごくこの技術的なところだったり深さだったりとかそういったところに面白みを感じたんですけど、キャメルさんはこれを見てそもそもどういった人がこれを見てここに観光に来たいと思うのかっていうところに対して質問を挙げてました。
No, I thought that was beautiful sort of art film, but I wasn't too sure about being a sort of tourism promotional kind of film. But then someone probably, as you say, senior targets, people like us, senior audience who might be interested in a really kind of deep part of that history and art would be attracted to this, probably. Yeah, thanks.
What do you think, Don?
Yeah, I've seen the film as well, and I recognize the merit in terms of the production aspect of it. But yeah, I think it might go well over certain audiences and might not necessarily if we're expecting something really light and very inviting in terms of tourism. So it's a certain art form that needs appreciation as well. But yeah, generally I think it might also not be very inviting for some.
Then I'll
JJ,
just pick the
yeah.
next film then. I mean, for this film, I think I can use it as a contrast. So like, I'll pick the Hilton Kyoto
Okay.
video, and then you can contrast, and we can discuss like the difference between
Right.
Brave
Okay.
one and this.
加藤先生の方からはやっぱり逆に高年齢の方とかでもっと歴史とかそういったところに詳しい方とかにはいいんじゃないかという話と、あとどうもやっぱりアートとしては素晴らしい映像なんじゃないか、それに対してじゃあ観光っていったところでもっとね 受け入れる体制が整っている、そういった雰囲気は持ってないので、そういったところはどうかなと思うそうなんですけど、J さんがこの後に見せるお見せする映像の方で、もしかしたら今の映像と比較的なお話ができるんじゃないかと思うので、次の映像ぜひ見ていただきたいと思います。
じゃあ続いてJ さんの方が、推薦する、作品というか映像を見ていただくということで、
What's your recommendation?
The Hilton Kyoto one.
Hilton Kyoto。
はい、じゃあ準備できてますか。じゃあお願いいたします。はい。
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, I think I'm biased, as in I enjoy, like, I really enjoy Kyoto, and then I've worked there before, I've shot there before, and I think what this ad does well is that obviously it's for the Hilton Hotel, but it also allows you to understand, like, okay, what it would feel like to experience Kyoto's culture through kind of like their services, or kind of, at least that's what they're trying to convey. Maybe, 100 years of cultural history, but at the same time, it's a very specific product. And I think, like, compared to the Brave one, I think actually there are very similar elements where it's like the visuals, sometimes it's a little dark, sometimes it's more like serene, the nature, obviously there's a history, the culture, but there's no voiceover. I think the voiceover was the big difference between the Brave one and this, and then the music is a little bit different. So maybe even though, Kyoto is kind of known as a serious city, right? It's not like, there's a lot of history there. But the music, the editing, even though it makes you feel serious, there's a serene, like very peaceful feeling that I think Kyoto brings to people who understand that. But I think people who haven't been to Kyoto, just by watching the video, they can kind of understand what it would feel like if you did go there.
Maybe you can.
Yeah, that film was also one of my best. So it is very short but very powerful, including many things. Normally if you have some commercial-oriented film to celebrate hotel or resort, you easily fall into this, way of, showing, we are very good hotel, lots of facilities, and luxury goods and everything. But this one also try to be a little bit calm and set back, and try to make a link to the surrounding city in a very nice way. And as Jay mentioned, the sound and the control of the rhythm and the speed of the camera, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, was really well managed. So it actually overcame the limitations of this commercialized film to the level of more tourist or more welcoming type of film. So I absolutely agree.
Love this film. It's great. I mean, I'm spending so much time in hotels throughout the year. So, of course, they are showing an empty entry hall. Of course, they are showing an empty restaurant. Of course, you're walking alone through the bamboo gardens, which is definitely not going to happen. But as Kyung said, you have the loud city outside, and you have the serene, relaxing part inside. And that's what you want from a hotel. You want to come into the hotel, you want to have it more quiet, and you go out for the action. So for me, for example, this shot when they were showing the facade of the hotel, which is pretty boring because that's a concrete facade, as all the facades, and then you go into the traditional architecture, the interior design, and so on. So that's the cool thing. And again, of course, they are playing with cliches, but that's what they have to do. I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you don't see couples where the girls go shopping and the boys go to work, because that's the classic cliche that you have in some of the hotel films. And yes, you're not alone in the hotel. Accept this, but you have the chance to take it as a retreat. And the camera and the editing is really cool, and the music, so it also fits perfect, I think so, from my point of view, into the Japanese style, or at least what we think is the Japanese style.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is obviously a very high-end product, and then all the design. I mean, it's really nice to see how the design's inspired by all the other elements in surrounding the hotel. So all the vertical lines, like a bamboo forest or tori, the gates, and that's how it's kind of inspired all the design inside. And then, so it's a bit like Kyoto within the hotel in a way. So I think that kind of design images are really beautiful, and I really like the absence of the narrative as well. But it's really suggested really, really beautifully. Thank you.
Yeah, I think everyone has summarized it perfectly. I would just like to say that I really liked it from a creative standpoint and a production standpoint. It was really well made. As Jay has mentioned, there are certain dark elements to it, but it also makes it more elevated since it's Hilton. And it's almost reminiscent to a perfume commercial, like the really dark ones, you know. That's why it gives off this really high-end feel to it that is very apt for the brand. So this is also one of my top films in the selection that the jury has made, and yeah, it's very well executed, and I really like it too.
And again, I hope that the entry hall will be full and the restaurant will be full, unless we don't see the Hilton to be staying there long enough for the next time.
全体的に皆さんこの映像すごく気に入っていらっしゃって、特に日本のこれが日本だって海外の方が思われるそういった雰囲気をすごく出されていて、で日本に来たことない方でも、日本に行ったらこういう体験ができるんじゃないかなっていうこの静けさだったりとか、この暗い映像で始まるところもやはり高級感を出していたりとか、ハイエンドのお客様に向けてっていうところがすごく表現されていて、皆さんそこら辺意見としては一致しているのかなというふうに感じました。で実際にねここに来られた時 時に京都のホテルでたった一人でレストランに入ってたった一人でスパに入ってってことっておそらく今オーバーツーリズムって言われてる中でなかなかないんじゃないかなと思うんですがまあでももしかしたらそういうチャンスもあるかもしれないし、ここに行ってこういった静けさを体験したいっていうやっぱそういった気持ちをかき立てるという意味ではすごくいい映像なんではないかということが、まあ、皆さん満場一致というかで表現されてた映像ではないかなと思います。
はい、あと技術的なことで先ほどの映像にはナレーションが入ってたけども、これにはナレーションが入ってないっていうそのボイスオーバーのところでの、技術的な違いっていうのも一つ、まあ、注目ポイントだということもおっしゃってました。
Hi, hello. For my pick, again, there were several options to choose from, but I'm thinking one that really stood out for me would be, well, actually there are two from Slovenia, but I would choose the one with Slovenia Bonfire of Creativity.
それでは3本目の映像でドンさんの、
準備できてますでしょうか。はい。スロベニアって言ってました。
Slovenia Bonfire.
はい。
Slovenia. はい。
ちょっとポンと出ない場合があるんです。少々お待ちください。はい。
A millennium ago, the first known Slovenian words were written. 5 centuries on, the author of the first printed book in the Slovenian language, a Slovene Protestant reformer named Primož Trubar, lit a bonfire of what would prove to be a culture on the rise. From there, despite difficulties, Slovenian culture was unstoppable. And what's my part in all this? I'm a professor of art history and a writer. I'm an American who has lived in London, Paris, Florence, Rome, but in the end, I chose Slovenia as my forever home. I was so enchanted by its great architect, the modernist mystic Jože Plečnik, that I moved here. From then on, I devoted myself to exploring the wonders of Slovenian culture and sharing it in writing with those who've not had the chance to encounter it yet. On the world map, Slovenia stands out with great writers, architects, artists, musicians. I'm lucky to call a few of them friends. Friendship and love are integral to the Slovenian language itself. It is one of the few to have preserved the dual form. It's all here, waiting for the wise explorer to discover, as so many others have before.
Okay, so for this one, this isn't a very traditional tourism film. It's a niche film in a way. It's about art, it's about history. But I personally really love personal stories and genuine stories. That's one of the most of my work revolves around that. And I think incorporating really good stories about real people will make films more emotional and more human and grounded. So I think this one perfectly incorporates that, and at the same time it involves the environment around our characters, as I might say. So that might be really appealing to, for example, art enthusiasts and others, but I think it really goes to show how it will reach its certain audience that it wanted to, and I love the personal touch to it. That's why I love the film.
I think it is quite interesting. We have seen 3 films, but I would say my top choice was One End, which is quite artistic, abstract, but not very friendly. The Jay's choice probably is in the middle, combining artistry, but also try to explain why Hilton is good. And Don's choice probably is on the other side, where quite friendly and honestly explaining why this is a good country to visit. So I think it's a quite whole range of spectrum we have seen in these 3 films. So in that sense, in terms of delivery and honest and friendliness, that was a really good film. But my mind is it's a kind of a very different types of production. So each has its own merit in some sense.
Yeah, I really like this film myself because I'm one of the sort of academics, like doing research and being a professor. But initially I thought, oh no, not English narration. But then I realized that this person is actually the professor expert decided to live in a country and really telling us about the art and history and why he loves a place. So that makes the story really authentic. And I think it's a very interesting way of narrating, giving a story of that place. Yeah, I really liked it.
I wonder if I'm like too much of a skeptic. Like I wonder like if they just made him up.
Well, it could be. It could be.
Yeah,
but
right?
The story is
So I think that's interesting. Where like as I'm watching it, my first thought is like, I wonder if he's real.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like if he's real, I think I would feel more emotionally engaged. And then if he's fake, then I feel like the script and his voiceover is forced. So I think that's what's interesting for me. Like, I mean, I feel like using English narration is always, like you said, I think yes, I think using English narration is very, especially in tourism videos, normal, like a commercial, where they explain every point of why you should like a place. It's very much, it's so direct that maybe I would enjoy Slovenia better if you didn't tell me. Like you just show him doing what he does, and then maybe sparse narration, maybe. But I think that's personal preference. I think some people, would enjoy more information. Whereas for me, I think most people, when you travel, you don't have a tour guide next to you all the time. You kind of do your own homework, and then you feel connected to this place, and then maybe someone shares some information with you. So I think as far as, I think it's a good discussion of like, well, how much narration should you do? How much shouldn't you do? Some videos, they don't use voice as a narration, but they use text. And that's interesting also. So I think, again, at the end of the day is if this video brings more people to Slovenia, then it's successful. But if for some reason, like they look at their metrics and they find out that, oh, it didn't do as well as maybe another video they did that had less narration, then I think that's where like big data comes in, and then it's more about marketing in a sense and of course back to storytelling than it is about the quality of the film. I think the quality of the film is great. Yeah.
Well, again, you have different approaches to get the public interested or the target group interested in what you want to promote. And as you said, if the guy is real, then it's super nice and it's super cool. Again, I haven't been to Ljubljana for ages. I've been more often to Japan than to Slovenia, which is a shame. Okay, even though I'm driving through Slovenia when I'm going to Zagreb. But it's a very personal approach. And I think I like the faces at the end where he's showing that's my friends. The problem with these people is that they might be recognized in Slovenia and they are not being recognized outside of Slovenia. So we had this in Vienna as well, that you had incredible people for Vienna that were participating in the films. But if you went 100 kilometers or 200 kilometers outside of Vienna, nobody recognized them anymore because, as we say in Austria, they were world known in Vienna. And so in Vienna, and that's it. So that's a danger or a trap in you might fall. So I don't know how important and how well known these faces were. We will not find it out today, but I think it's a very personal and a very nice approach.
Agreed.
She already did. Yeah, we all did.
そうですね。
まず、これまでの2つの映像とは少し違っていて、例えばこの映像についてはフレンドリーであったりとか、そういうもっと観客に語りかけるような、そういうパーソナルな印象が強いというところが大きいと。であとはさっきちょっとボイスオーバーナレーションのお話をしましたけれども、これスロベニアの話だけれども、英語でナレーションしていると。それはマーケティングとかコマーシャルの点で、そっちの方が視聴者にツーリズムとして訴えかけていくっていうところがあるんだけれども、それがその映像作品とどういう関係にあるのかということを議論されてたりしました。あと補足があれば。
そうですね。中のこれも個人的なね、どれくらいのじゃあナレーションをしたらいいのかとかいろいろあると思うんですね。じゃあその語りかけるやり方なのか、今回の映像の場合もっと個人的なストーリーに結構フォーカスされているので、そういったところをこの人が実在するんであればすごくいいお話なんだけど、実在しないで偽物だったとするとそれはそれでどうなんだろうみたいななんかね、本当にいろんなマーケティングっていうところも関わってくるので、どういう見せ方でどういう方に届けたいかっていうところも大きく変わってくるんじゃないかと思うんですが、でも、ね、3つここまでたった3作品ですけれども、こうやって比べていただいたときに1番目の作品と今回の作品がおそらく一番対比にあって、でヒルトンの京都のものが多分おそらく真ん中くらいに来てるんじゃないかなというお話もありました。なので、これからご覧いただくいろんな映像が出てくると思うんですけども、それぞれにいいポイントも、こういうところが自分だったらこうだよな、でもこうじゃない人たちにこういう場合届くよなとかすいません、いろいろあると思うので、そんな観点からも、この後ご覧いただけたらと思います。Then now it's your...
Good. My pick. Of course, I would have picked the Switzerland film of this amazing series with Roger Federer, but I thought I'd rather follow Kyung's point of view and go more into the trashy part. So therefore, I'm choosing from Kvarner region in Croatia, Make Your Own Movie.
ではスイスとか選びたかった、すごい素晴らしいところで選びたかったんですが、キュングが最初に出してくれたものとですね、そちらに尊敬を表して違うクロアチアのですね映像の方を見ていただきたいと思います。
はい。なんかちょっとOK ですね。はい。じゃあ間もなく出ると思います。はい。
Am I speaking with the location manager?
You are.
Do you have a moment?
Sure. I'm in my office.
So am I. Nobody likes them.
Yeah, they're all the same.
We're shooting an adventure movie. We're looking for an untouched paradise. We need sea, but it has to be crystal clear. We want marvelous sandy or pebble beaches, preferably both. Breathtaking horizons and mountain peaks. Fairy tale-like lakes. Wild forests. Rivers, waterfalls, gorges. We need magic. Can you do it?
Yeah, I've already got something.
And the rest?
Buongiorno, is this location manager?
On a high level.
Fantastico. Allora, we are shooting a family movie and we need a location. Oh, sorry, is this a good moment?
Perfect.
We are looking for a scent of history and culture. Castles, old towns, old buildings, theaters.
So we are filming this road movie and we are in a search of beautiful landscapes.
Hallo, hallo.
Roads,
Wir machen einen Mystery-Film und wir brauchen etwas enigmatisch oder so intrigant.
Come on, man. We need action. We need those locations. I wanna...
Hello.
Hello, dear. It's me again. This time we want to shoot some kind of romantic comedy.
Of course.
And we have the most famous actresses and
Draga,
actors on
ako ti nije problem.
Što želiš da slikam?
Što god hoćeš.
The film is kind of a trap because you have a lot of, or you have some videos from film commissions where they are showing the country. So it started with a film about Crete, which is more or less the same story. Then it was a film about the Canary Islands, and then other locations. So these were films that were showing the locations for real location managers to attract companies to do films. Here, it's a trap. It's not for location managers, it's not for film locations, it's just a story about this. And they're showing everything, really everything. And that's what I like at this film. It has fun, it has action, it's showing all the things from gastronomy to action to family to all the things. And it gets more chaotic till the end, and really the end is, so show something, whatever you show, it's cool. And that's the region. And that's why I think it's an extremely funny film, and therefore I think I like it. And it's pretty much the opposite of what Kyung was doing.
That's what I said, yeah. So definitely, it was overpopulated, overdone with bombardment of images. So you have a rainfall of images from all the different aspects about the area. One beauty of this film, however, is while they are overdoing this, the image, generation, it has very strong, storytelling behind it. So there is a reason for shooting all these images, and also they have these cartoon images to collect what is necessary. So it doesn't overflow after having these multiple images because of that backbone of the strong narrative. So that's something I really appreciate this movie.
Yeah, it's kind of really in your face approach. But then that's the fun part of tourism, isn't it? And then anything you want. And I think that's a great kind of message. But at the same time, at the end, I thought, oh, which country was that?
This is also one of my top picks, including the Hilton ones. And I really like this film generally. I would just say that with the films that we viewed from this year, I think there were a few ones I've seen about filmmaking, which is in a way very niche too, because there are very technical jargons being discussed, like location managers, which film people only know. So what I was just thinking about this, if like the general public will see it, how would the really technical jargons would come across? But I think the visual, the imagery that we have and the sound and everything, showing everything, would really entice its target audience, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I think we talked, like last night, we talked about filmmaking as far as like using that as a tool, as a story in a lot of these commercials. And I think what's interesting about this one is that at least the location manager job is pretty simple. Like it's easy for the audience to understand. It's not like a director, trying to direct something or do something. I think what it does well also is just that it just shows you a lot of beautiful images that you would want to go vacation there. The sun is always out. It's really beautiful. So, while you might not remember it's Croatia, but at least it's like, oh, that's pretty. Maybe I want to go there. And then you'll go do your homework and then try to find out where that is. So I think it's successful in that sense. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, what I like is they don't take themselves too serious. Yeah. And they're having fun. And you see a beach that's crowded and not a hotel that's empty. So you see the real life. And he's taking his job very easily. Yeah. And on the other side, he's taking it very serious because he's trying everything like a crazy guy. So therefore, yeah, it's whatever you see, choose it, you'll find it. And these agglomeration of calls at the end with the different languages. So you have English, you have French, you have Italian, you have German, you have all the things. So that shows that it's international. And again, I mean, the open end, because you don't know what kind of picture she's going to send, is kind of giving you a mystery to think about for the next 2-3 minutes at least. And therefore, I like the film. Yeah.
ですね、一番最初に見ていただいた映像と本当に全く真逆、それこそキングさんが言ってたのが一つのことに絞っていろんなことを詰め込みすぎない、シンプルにそこの場所のだけにフォーカスしている映像で素晴らしいっておっしゃってたのに対して、今回のものは逆に全てを詰め込んだっていうタイプの映像になりますよね。でなんですけど、とはいえキングさんの方もやっぱり一つのこの大きい筋道っていうかディレクターがいて電話かけてきて、でこういったツアーを作りたいと思ったんだけどどう思うみたいな、でそれに従ってこういうのもあるしああいうのもあるしって言って、でしかも今回の映像そのもののテーマがやっぱり自分の行きたいツアーを自分で作る、映像を自分で作るみたいな風なテーマになっているので、やはり見た方たちがワクワクする。で国がどこかっていうのはちょっと残念ながらこれを見た時にわからないかもしれないんですけど、でもやっぱり、ね、常に太陽が出ていてすごく天気がよくって、でいろんなアクティビティがあって、で家族でも楽しめるし、でカップルでも楽しめるし、一人でも楽しめるしみたいな、でこの一人の主人公がいろんなところに自分で行って飛び込んでいって体験してっていうところが見えてくるっていうのがやっぱりこう見ている人たちがワクワクする いきたいっていうふうにつながっていくかなっていうのがあるので、皆さんそれこそ満場一致でこの映像もやはり素晴らしい映像の一つではないかなっていうところで、はい、私も実はactually I do the judge too, and when my point of view is always like, after I finish watching it, did this film made me want to go there, and that's the point. But actually, I do like your video too. And even though I didn't know where it was particularly, but like in a gastronomy, like the way he ate, like that's something like it felt like in the very ancient. That's something that we don't get to eat on our regular table at home, or like in Japan at least. So yeah, that made me very curious. So like Jay was saying, like I would do my homework, research like what that place was. So that was actually really unique. But also like his movie was also like telling me exactly what I could I could imagine doing. It my own too. It's like then I won't be doing everything, but like in a few of them, that they were showing, like I could.
Well, in some sense, maybe we are not exactly targeting the generational age group,
right.
Or perhaps if we think about the beginner group,
right,
advanced group, that might be also worth thinking. Which group these films might be appealing to.
Right,
so this more friendly film might be very good for beginners.
Right.
But some abstraction, the more kind of reserved one might be better for the more advanced travelers, for example. So there's a lot of things we can think about.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point. 今のキングさんの話だと、じゃあ今までだとこの映像はどのターゲットに向けて、年齢的にどのターゲットとかジェンダーどうだとか、なんかいろいろなところがあったと思うんで、そうじゃなくって旅をすることに対してビギナーなのか、それとももっと深いところを知りたくってどこかに行くのかって、そういったなんか見方で映像を作っていったりとか、そういうところに見せていくっていうのも一つ考えてもいいところなのかもしれないですねっていう話。
言ってるうちにですね、実はもう時間に
なんと
も
う一個だけ見れない？
いやちょっとね、
見るだけ。じゃあすみません、加藤先生からのおすすめをちょっと一つ。
Okay, this is probably one of the very low key production. Cuando volves from Spain? When do you return? I just wanted to bring this because in sustainable tourism, we talk so much about authenticity of people's life. Like this festival's theme this time is like Kurashi is people's ordinary living. So how do we feature people's ordinary living, but then at the same time make tourism product? I think it's a really difficult, it's quite a big challenge. So I just thought maybe this shows that aspects of the tourism, sort of kind of tourism not trying to be tourism in a way.
じゃあすいません、このコーナーは、この後加藤先生の、推薦した映像を見ながらお別れという形で、ちょっとこの後ね、国際審査員の方は真庭市内のエクスカーションに出かけますので、ちょっとこちらでもう時間が来てしまったので、申し訳ないけれどもって感じで、一回ですね、この、今推薦映像を見た後、この配信一回はちょっと終わります。中断します。で、13時からまた新しく次のコーナーの配信と始まりますので、そういった感じで皆様お付き合いいただければと思います。ではご覧いただいて、ここは終わりにしたいと思います。
So this forum is now closure, and we all the juries actually have to go into the excursion trip now. So yeah, we'll say thank you very much for joining us, and yeah, so Kato-san's film is going to be shown after we take off from the stage. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you.
はい、ありがとうございました。
Hoy una amiga me contó que la palabra recordar viene de volver a pasar por el corazón. Sé que suena cursi, pero piénsalo. es una habilidad increíble. Como cuando haces un viaje especial, de esos que permanecen en tu memoria. Años más tarde estás a lo tuyo haciendo tu vida a cientos de kilómetros de allí y de pronto algo trivial, como un sonido o una imagen, ¡chas! Viajas en el tiempo a ese lugar, a ese instante concreto, y todo vuelve de golpe a tu cabeza. El olor del bosque, la vista de aquel sitio impresionante y la gente, claro. Las personas con las que compartiste todo aquello. Alguien que te pregunta, antes de que te hayas ido, ¿cuándo vuelves? Ese lugar se va contigo. Te ha cambiado para siempre. ¿Y qué pasa si entonces haces esa llamada? Te sacas el billete, avisas a los amigos de que vas para allá, en busca de momentos que, cuando nos vengan a la memoria, nos hagan saltar las lágrimas o las carcajadas, que nos pongan la piel de gallina, o todo a la vez, en busca de momentos que en el futuro consigan emocionarte de nuevo. Me estoy yendo por las ramas. Solo quería saber ¿cuándo vuelves?